I'm not a fan of Jim Beam in general because white label, I grew up on. It was probably the first bourbon I threw up on. That's when I'm having 2 drinks and I'm like, oh my God. You're like holding your nose trying to drink it. Welcome back to Arsenic Culture. I'm Jason.
Jordon.
And we got Jordon with us today. No Matt, still not here. This one, though, we're going to do a review. So we've got a bourbon review for you today. This one's the Little Book, the Infinite, 2nd edition from 2025.
Yeah.
Jordon has been gracious enough. Let's try this one. You got this in Jim Beam box. Is that what it is? Like a subscription?
It's called Barreled and Box subscription. I think we've talked about it before, but if you're in one of the eligible states and you like some of the premium Beam offerings, I highly suggest it. I mean, it's pretty much MSRP plus taxes,
Shipping.
and then they include like a $20 shipping fee. So if you don't
Which is fair.
If you don't like going around hunting or sometimes spending your liquor store points on buying certain offerings, if it's like that in your area, I highly suggest it. I mean, I love it. It comes out about once a quarter. And sometimes they have really great offerings. So,
what are some of the other ones you got through there? I know you've had the Infinite and you've also had the Reserves, right?
Yeah. So the last box I got actually was Infinite 2, and then Reserves.
2025.
Yeah, the second edition.
Second. Yeah. I know the Reserves last year got a lot of attention.
And then a lot of times they'll throw in some of the master. The distiller shares, which is kind of it's kind of like Freddie Noe's kind of playground.
Okay.
With blends and whiskey. So there's that Worcestershire cask and.
That's right. I still got that sample you gave me. I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, I think I got a white Sauternes cask finished, and then I think the one coming in the box. Next week or the week after is going to be a Calvados finish bourbon from them. So
pretty interesting. Now, will you get one coming, I think, in the future, too? Is it Knob Creek 21?
Yeah, Knob Creek 21's coming this week or next week, yeah.
That'll be the oldest official release, I guess, of a Jim Beam product.
Yeah, we'll have to try it on the show, too, because I'm pretty excited about that.
Now you're talking our language. So, speaking of that, though, let's tell a little bit about this one. So, this is from Jim Beam, the distillery. The proof is 120.8. If you have to give an age statement, again, age statement in a blend has to say the lowest age. So this would be a 7-year-old bourbon, but there's also other parts to this. So you do have a 7-year-old bourbon. That's from Freddie Noe. It's an extended fermentation. I want to talk about that in a minute. A 10-year-old bourbon from Fred Noe, and then a 22-year-old bourbon from Booker Noe. That would be the oldest release from Beam that I can find. So besides the Knob Creek coming out that 21. So a little bit about this too, this Infinite blend, think of it as a Solera method, or think of like your home infinity bottle, right? So if you have that, you put a little bit of everything you've had in there and keep adding to it. Even when you add stuff to it, you always have that base blend that's been there. So that's kind of what this is. Their base blend they started this with was from last year. They kept 30% of batch 1 of this back, and then they've added those other things to it. So last year's was, I think, three different ones, a blend of 7 to 20-year-old bourbon. So this year we have that in there as the base, and then we have 7 to 22-year-old bourbons added on top.
Nice.
So back to that extended fermentation, though, what does that mean? Because it talks about that being Freddie Noe's part of the blend, and I don't think I've ever heard of that.
Kind of everything I know about Beam is kind of like what we know about Bruce at Wild Turkey, right?
Yeah.
They're the new generation that's going to take over their family's business, and they like to experiment a little bit more than their dads and granddads did.
For sure.
And the extended fermentation is something I think that Freddie was playing around with, that it's exactly what it says it is. Jim Beam has a certain protocol. When you're making that much whiskey every day, you have certain timetables for your fermentation that you want to hit to keep a product how everybody
That's right.
remembers
When
it.
you get to be one of the big boys, you have, knobs and computers and your timers. Everything's on the schedule, right? I mean, it has to
So I think Freddie just decided one day, you know what? Instead of however many days, let's go a little bit extra.
Yeah.
To see what it does to the whiskey. And
Makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Relate it back to beer too. You think of like, and my Eastern Kentucky accent will come out, but an extended boil, right? So like you think of that with a barrel-aged stout.
Yeah.
You think of that concentrating flavors in my mind, and maybe a better mouthfeel. That's what I think of when I hear that.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to try. Now, with this line, the Infinite series, so their intention is what Jim Beam says on their website, is to bring multiple generations together to create a whiskey that grows richer each year as new liquids are added to the original blend, which again, Solera method or kind of like that Infinity bottle you might have at home. So MSRP on this one, $200. Secondary on it, roughly the same. There's not a ton of secondary on this one. And that brings up another point we can talk about. I mean, you've had this discussion off camera. Jim Beam,
Yeah.
they might not get the respect that some of the other legacy distilleries get, right?
Yeah, I think, everybody. So Beam, always like, when I was first getting into whiskey, you could automatically tell it was a Beam product because it has that kind of peanut skin or like a dusty peanut shell kind of finish on it. But I think over time, at least in my experience, I think that's actually, and especially with their older aged stuff, that kind of disappears to the background a little bit, and you really get to fill out like what their whiskey has to offer once it hits a certain age, I think. And really good Beam that I've had in the past, like one of the best I've had, the Jacob's Well 211. It has this like raspberry note to it that is just absolutely fantastic. And the extended age Beam products have this like marzipan and raspberry note to it, and it's glorious. I mean, I love Beam stuff.
I think, from another perspective, from mine looking at it, I think we were spoiled back then too of, especially with Knob Creeks. You look back 10 years ago, 8 years ago, 20 years ago, we had 12 to 15-year-old Knob Creek single barrel picks that were on the shelf all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, you could walk in Liquor Barn at that time. We didn't have Total Wine then.
$45.
$45, $50, right? And we're still not buying enough. Like if you took us back, that would be one. Everybody might say, "Oh, I'll get Pappy and all this." And honestly, like those Gold Neck Four Roses, those right there, the Knob Creek, they're 12 to 15 years. I remember a Festivus pick that you let me have most of the bottle, and it was fantastic.
Yeah.
We did a barrel pick there. Me and you did a barrel pick at Knob Creek in the freezing winter, snowing outside.
Man, that was probably the best barrel pick I've been a part of. Yeah.
And it was, I want to say our blend at that point was like 10, right around 10 years old, maybe 10, 11. But that was a fantastic bottle. I've still got a couple of those left. So anyway, I think they don't get the respect they deserve, probably because they don't have that top tier line. I mean, this is probably their top tier.
I get it. $200 for OGD 16 at 100 proof. Oh, I wish it was 114. I wish it was cask strength.
Sure.
Well, we all do. But actually, going back to that bottle, it is actually crazy good. Like, it has this like sweet oak funk to it that you don't get in a lot of.
Now you're talking OGD in there.
OGD,
okay.
16
Old Granddad,
from last
16-year-old. Yep.
This is $200 as well.
Yep.
The Knob Creek 21 is going to, I think it's like $250 a bottle.
Yeah.
But it's also 21 years old. This has 22-year-old stuff in it. There's guys out there right now buying 6-year-old sourced whiskey for $170 right now. Like, it's
all the NDPs have it for sale.
It's apples to apples, really. I think.
I don't think it is apple to apple. I think it's apples to oranges. I think I'd rather have.
That's what
I'd rather have a Jim Beam product aged at 21 years or this blend with 22 in it. I've not even tried this. I'm just nosing it, but I'd rather have this than a 6 to 7 year old, let's say Barton from an NDP for $30 less, 170 compared to 200.
And listen, some of those are great.
I've had some great.
Some of those are great,
Yeah.
and I
both had some great
love some of the Barton.
Sure.
Barton. Don't know if it is, but it is. Stuff
Can't confirm it, but it is.
in the house there that it's great, and it was expensive, but actually I don't mind paying it if it's good, right? But you got to look at things, right? Beam has a reputation of, whether you like it or not, they've made quality whiskey that everybody's obviously been buying for generations. So for them to charge that amount of money for that old of a product, I don't mind it. Now, yes, the proof maybe should be bigger, but that's a thing. Like, you got to trust the people making the whiskey, like what they want to present to the public.
Yeah.
And a lot of times it's harder to have a really good product at a lower proof blended than it is just to release a single barrel at cask strength.
100%.
There's an art to it. And
that's something I didn't appreciate. I'm starting to appreciate that more, but I agree with you. And you talk to like distillers, are talking about that. Like the lower proof bourbon, you can't hide the flaws, which it's kind of messes with my mind, because I'm going to think cask strength would be where you can't hide the flaws, but you can in what they're saying. You can hide the flaws easier in any bourbon at a higher proof than you could a lower one.
It's like the beer world, right?
True.
You can't hide flaws in a lager.
That's right.
But if you hop the hell out of it or add enough maple syrup to the stout,
Or some lactose.
then you ain't going to taste much.
That's true. No, that's true. That's true. No, but I'm excited for this one. So first thoughts, any notes you're getting on the nose or the taste, either way?
Well, nose, I'm actually not getting very much peanut.
I'm not getting much at all, but I think it could be a little colder too, like we're outside right now. So we didn't plan on this being this cold today, but we're prepared.
Yeah. Not much peanut on the nose.
No.
Or at all.
No, I don't get any peanut from myself.
I get some leather and some sweet oak. Caramel.
Yeah. I would say that like reduced caramel. You know what I mean? Like a concentrated caramel for me and an oak. That's the two on the nose.
Oh, yeah.
Tasty notes.
Toffee.
Yeah, toffee. That's right. That's a good job. Thanks for the words, Jordan.
This is incredible. I mean...
So again, now, proof on this one, this is 120.8 proof. Last year's was 119.3. So essentially the same thing, right?
I mean, that's like...
That's really good.
That's like liquid Werther's.
Yeah.
And it does have that red fruit, like raspberry. It's not like Buffalo Trace with like the cherry or grape. This is like a raspberry or strawberry.
I was thinking like it's brighter than a Macintosh apple, but it's like the outside skin of an apple,
like a Honeycrisp.
Maybe, yeah.
Like
it's not like you took a bite of it, but it's like that skin. You smell it in the store, but really good.
And this has like a really nice mouthfeel to it.
100%.
I wasn't expecting the viscosity on this.
Maybe the extended fermentation helped.
I mean, maybe
seriously.
So. I mean, we don't know.
We don't know percentages.
We don't know percentage blends and all this, but
yeah.
I gotta think though the older product has added, because Knob Creek, the older Knob Creeks, the 18s and 15s, they have a nice viscosity to them, and I think OGD 16 has a nice viscosity to it. I have to think, a little bit of that extended time in the barrel, as it's aging in the barrel, more of that angel shares get lost.
For sure. Leaves
behind that reduction of goodness.
Oh, you have me. You got me there. So some of the official tasty notes, caramel, we both said. Yeah. Pear, okay, I could see it. Fresh apple, okay.
I mean, you said apple. Yeah.
Well, I said apple, but I'm thinking more like skin versus like, it's not a bite. It's more like you smell it in the orchard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But again, barrel char, which has a weird tasty note, rich vanilla, and dark stone fruit. So I'm getting all those.
I think they're having Gen Z write the tasting notes
probably.
For them at Beam.
But you've been on a few episodes with us too. I mean, we've had some out there, and Matt will say it if he was here. It's creative writing. I at least think this is in the ballpark.
Yeah, no, for sure.
They're not telling me it's apple from the season of 2018 in Sonoma.
So dark stone fruit, we're talking.
That'd be cherries, right? I mean,
cherry or like a plum, like a dark plum, like purple plum.
I could actually see that.
And there might be a little, not necessarily on the stone fruit size, but there might be like a little fig to this,
Mm-hmm.
like a fig Newton. liquid fig Newton.
I mean, it's very dark. Is it darker than the reserves? We brought another bottle on here. If you're watching on YouTube, you can see it. If you're not watching on YouTube, please subscribe. But it looks darker to me from here, but now it's also a little bit fuller, and it's also got the black background.
They're honestly about the same color.
Close.
Just to be honest. I don't know.
I mean, I think it's a very good pour. Like, it's not a bad pour at all. So let's talk about value, though. So for $200, let's call it, let's say each part of the blend is equal. So we're going to call it roughly a 12 and a half, 13-year-old product. You got from 7 to 22. So you're paying $200. Would you be a buy at $200?
I'm a buy, and I'm going to buy a backup.
Okay.
Because this bottle ain't going to last long.
Okay.
It's damn good.
Do you remember, and I had last year's too, but do you remember to compare it to that? Like, what do you think?
I had Infinite one, and I got a bottle. I haven't opened it actually yet, but I have Infinite, the first batch. I had a sample of it. It's very underwhelming.
Yeah, that's why I remember it being too.
Compared to this, it's just, it's apples to apples.
That's apples to apples.
No, but
that is apples to apples. It's Infinity.
I would
blend,
say
right?
last year's would have been a try before you buy.
Yeah.
This one I'm buying, and I'm buying a backup. I bought and I will buy a backup.
So for me, I'm buying one bottle at $200. I'm buying one, and I'd like to see what it does as it opens up a little more in the bottle too. I think it'll definitely get better. It's already good. I have no complaint with this bourbon. Perfect world, I wish it was 150, but we're not getting this for 150. Yeah. In any scenarios, we're past that point right now. But last year's, I agree, was underwhelming. Now, comparing it to the reserves, this year's reserves to this year's Little Book Infinity 2, what do you think comparison-wise? I'll go first on this one if you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead, because I haven't even touched this one yet.
I think I like the reserves. We did a review on that one. I think it's out, but if not, it's coming out soon. But we did a review on that one, and I liked it. But I like this Infinity Blend 2 better. I think it's actually significantly better in my opinion.
This one, finished in tequila barrels.
Mm-hmm. Which is weird, but it doesn't offset it. It doesn't off-putting
notes. No, but I can
notes.
taste that sweetness on the finish.
Correct.
But this one actually has a lot of fruit notes to it as well. And I don't know if the tequila finish helps bring those forward, but once again, I'm not getting a lot of peanut out of this or the Infinity. And maybe that's just my taste. Like we talked about, everybody's tastes are different. In the premium bean products, if you don't like peanut, and that's always kept you away from bean, give some of their premium products a try, because maybe it'll change your mind about it and you'll love it.
Well, for me, looking at Jim Beam, you had this conversation earlier. I'm not a fan of Jim Beam in general because white label, 80 proof, I grew up on. It was one of the first, it was probably the first bourbon I threw up on. I got sick on, and that's when I'm having 2 drinks and I'm like, oh my God, you're like holding your nose trying to drink it. And I always, it's better than, the white label's more than the cheapest bourbon. Like the cheapest bourbon I was growing up on was like Heaven Hill, probably. And look at Heaven Hill now. Yeah, Heaven Hill's a premium product for the most part.
Heaven Hill,
which has Jim Beam's yeast strain probably now. So that's why we get peanuts from Heaven Hill.
Heaven Hill growing up for me was the cheapest vodka we could find.
Correct.
For the field parties, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But now, I think for me, are we ready to score? Or?
Yeah, score it, yeah. So we're going to score from 0 to 5, 0.25 increments.
I am a 4.5 on this, because I'm going to have to revisit it again just to make sure. Obviously, I don't want to be the guy that always gives out really high scores, but we don't really.
Well, but let's put let's disclaimer in there.
Yeah.
So, people watching from home, or if you're listening, you might score something a 3.5, and that's good for you, right? You might never have a 5. I will have 5s.
Yeah.
I don't think I've scored many bourbons a 5, but I will have 5s.
Yeah.
So I'm generous with my score. My score is a 3.75 or above, I would buy almost every time I'm out somewhere.
Yeah.
Unless I find something there that's better or more interesting,
Yeah.
right? So that's what I would say is that there's no right or wrong score.
No, there's not.
So again,
Everything's subjective.
It is.
Just
It
like
is.
your tastes and, But 4.5 for me, and I would say if you like bean, don't even second guess buying it.
Mm-hmm.
Go ahead and buy it. If you're on the fence about bean, try it at a bar.
100%.
It's not going to be a cheap pour probably at the bar, but
I'd say $30. What do you think, 25, $30?
yeah, probably so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm close to you. I'm a 4.25 with it. I could be pushed up to a 4.5. I'd like to try it again in the future.
Yeah.
And I'll take another pour of this later, and I'll give you some of the reserves. So we'll share it back and forth. You didn't get to rate the reserves though. So today, would you like to rate that one too?
Yeah, I can rate the reserves. I'm going to go 4 out of 5 on the reserves.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm in the minority and I haven't had the reserves batch 1.
Fantastic.
I have
pour.
a bottle
Fantastic
in the
pour.
house. I haven't cracked it yet. I should just go ahead and crack it because everybody told me
It's
was absolutely
fantastic.
phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I'm 4 out of 5 on this one. This one is a mood pour for me. I
I'd
got to
agree with
be in a certain mood to drink this. Whereas the Infinite 2, I know it's expensive, but I
Anytime.
can literally drink that every day.
Totally agree on that one. I think that's a buy. That's a everyday. If you can get that at least once. So again, guys, hey, thanks for watching. This will wrap up our episode. Tell us what you think. If you've had either one of these, we're reviewing Infinite number 2, Infinite Blend 2. We're also talking about Booker's Reserves, and my paper just went crazy. But if you've had either of them, please leave us a comment and tell us what you think. Until next time, drink what you love and then argue about the ones you don't.